They say friendship is priceless, but what if I told you that trusting your friends too much might be the biggest mistake you ever make? This is the second law of power from Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. Never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Sounds ruthless. Maybe. But history proves that friends can betray you out of jealousy, while enemies when handled correctly can be more reliable than you think. So in this video, we're breaking down why you should be careful with friends, how powerful people have turned enemies into allies, and how you can use this knowledge to protect yourself in real life. Let's get into it. We all want to believe that our friends have our backs. And most of the time, they do. But when power, success, or money enters the equation, things change. History is filled with stories of people betrayed by their closest friends, not their enemies. One of the most famous examples, Julius Caesar. He was betrayed and assassinated by Brutus, a man he considered a close friend. Caesar trusted Brutus like a brother, but Brutus, influenced by political pressure and jealousy, stabbed him in the back literally. His last words, Et tu, Brute, even the strongest leaders fall when they trust too blindly. Why friends can turn on you. But why do friends betray? Here's why trusting them blindly is dangerous. At the beginning of any relationship, whether it's a friendship, a romantic connection, or even a work partnership, there's usually a sense of admiration and respect. You see the best in the other person, and they see the best in you. However, as time passes, the illusion of perfection fades, and their flaws become more noticeable. Imagine living with a roommate for years. At first, you appreciate their company, but over time, their small habits like leaving dishes in the sink or playing loud music start irritating you. The same thing happens in friendships and relationships. When people get too comfortable, they sometimes start taking each other for granted, and respect can gradually turn into annoyance or even resentment. This is why even the closest friendships and relationships require effort. If you don't nurture them with patience and understanding, the little annoyances can grow into big issues. Jealousy is powerful. Success often reveals the true nature of those around you. Real friends should be happy for your achievements, but unfortunately, not everyone is capable of that. Instead of celebrating your progress, some people might feel threatened by it. For example, let's say you get a scholarship, a promotion, or start achieving your fitness goals. While some friends will cheer for you, others might secretly feel left behind. They might not say it outright, but you may notice subtle changes, less enthusiasm in their responses, passive-aggressive remarks, or even attempts to downplay your success. Jealousy can make people act in unpredictable ways. Some might distance themselves, while others might start speaking negatively about you behind your back. It's painful to realize, but not everyone wants to see you win, especially if they feel like they're losing in comparison. The closer someone is to you, the more they know about your life, your struggles, your fears, your insecurities. This is what makes betrayal from a close friend so devastating. Unlike an enemy who attacks from a distance, a friend-turned-traitor knows exactly where to strike to hurt you the most. Think of a situation where you confided in a friend about something deeply personal, maybe a mistake you made, a fear you have, or a dream you're too scared to chase. Now, imagine that same friend using that information against you when things go wrong between you two. They might spread rumors, expose your secrets, or use your vulnerabilities to manipulate you. This is why trust should never be given blindly. Some people only stay loyal as long as they benefit from the relationship. But once they feel hurt, jealous, or no longer need you, they may turn against you. Loyalty is not about how long someone has been in your life, it's about how they act when things change. Some friendships last a lifetime, while others fall apart the moment jealousy, resentment, or personal gain gets in the way. Be mindful of the people you trust. Pay attention to how they react to your successes and struggles. The ones who truly care will support you no matter what, while the ones who don't may reveal their true colors when you least expect it. Why enemies can be more useful than friends. Alright, imagine this. You just won big, maybe you got that promotion, landed a major deal, or just leveled up in life. Now, you'd think your friends would be hyped for you, right? Well, not always. See, friendships are complicated. The people closest to you might secretly feel jealous, entitled, or even resentful. And that's where your enemies come in. Yeah, you heard me right, enemies can be more useful than friends. It sounds crazy, but let's break it down. Enemies work harder to earn their spot. When you hire a friend, they might slack off. Why? Because they assume their bond with you will protect them. They get too comfortable. But an enemy, enemy knows that one wrong move, and they're back on your bad side. They have everything to prove and nothing to lose, so they work harder, stay sharp, and make fewer mistakes. Friends can turn on you faster than you think. We all love our friends, but let's be real, sometimes, the people closest to us end up being the biggest haters. The moment you start winning, some friends stop clapping. Jealousy creeps in. They start questioning why you have what they don't, and before you know it, they're either dragging you down or secretly plotting against you. Think about it like a sports rivalry. Your biggest competitor isn't gonna take it easy on you. They train like their life depends on it. If you bring that same enemy onto your team, guess what? They're still bringing that intensity, but now it benefits you. Enemies, on the other hand, they've already shown their cards. You know they don't like you, so there's no illusion of loyalty. But if you give them a reason to work with you, they might respect you more than a fake friend ever would. It also confuses your other enemies. If they see that someone who once hated you now works with you, they start second-guessing everything. That uncertainty gives you control. Final thoughts. Use enemies, but don't trust them blindly. Now, this doesn't mean you should be reckless and trust every enemy you've ever had. You still gotta keep your guard up. But if you learn how to turn the right enemies into allies, you'll always have an advantage. Because at the end of the day, the person who controls their enemies controls the game. So next time you're dealing with a hater, don't just shut them out, ask yourself if they might be useful. Alright, so how does this apply to your life? Here's how you can use the second law of power to avoid betrayal and turn enemies into allies. Trust actions, not words. People will say anything to gain your trust. They'll promise loyalty, swear they have your back, and make you believe they're on your side. But here's the thing, words are cheap. It's easy to say something, but actions take effort. If someone says they care about you but never show up when you need them, do they really care? If they promise to support you but only do so when it's convenient for them, is that real support? The truth is, people reveal their true intentions through what they do, not what they say. So, stop listening to empty words and start paying attention to patterns. If someone consistently shows up for you, that's trust. If they constantly make excuses, it's time to see them for who they really are. Don't mix emotions with strategy. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is letting your emotions cloud your judgment. In life, especially when making important decisions, whether it's in business, friendships, or even relationships, you need to think logically. Just because someone makes you feel good doesn't mean they're good for you. Just because you've known someone for a long time doesn't mean they won't betray you. A lot of people get played because they let emotions drive their decisions instead of strategy. You need to step back, observe, and ask yourself, is this person beneficial to me, or am I just attached to them emotionally? Being objective doesn't mean being cold, it means protecting yourself from unnecessary pain. Be cautious of close friends when power is involved. They say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, but what if I told you that sometimes, your closest friends can become your worst enemies? The closer someone is to you, the more they know about your weaknesses, your secrets, and your vulnerabilities. And when power, money, or opportunities enter the equation, that's when true colors start to show. History has proven that betrayals often come from those we least expect. Think about it, how many stories have you heard about best friends turning on each other over business, fame, or even relationships? It happens more often than you think. So, does that mean you should never trust anyone? No. But you should always be aware that just because someone is close to you now, it doesn't mean they will always have your best interests at heart. Don't ignore enemies. It sounds crazy, right? Why would you ever want to keep an eye on your enemies? But sometimes, your greatest ally can be the person you once considered a rival. The reason? At least you know where they stand. Unlike fake friends who might smile in your face and stab you in the back, an enemy is straightforward. They don't pretend. Find sometimes, working with someone you once saw as an opponent is better than trusting someone who might betray you later. There's also another side to this: people change. A former enemy could one day become someone you can trust. Life is unpredictable, and those who keep an open mind often find opportunities where others only see threats. Always have leverage. Whether you're dealing with friends, enemies, business partners, or even relationships, one rule remains the same: never put yourself in a position where someone has complete control over you. When you rely too much on someone, they can use that against you.